Good morning, everyone. How are incoming distress call? What? Put it on screen. Hey, boss, what's going on? We're getting a distress call. Damn it, computer, put it on screen. Acknowledged. I repeat, this of the defense ship blasphemy. We're under heavy fire from. Send help. Our coordinates are 4.1 over 34.6. Please send. Oh God, he's here. Ah! Mr. Rondo, set a course to those exact coordinates, full speed. So, are you sure that you want to pursue that ship? Judging by the coordinates they sent us of that region of space would... I know, it would put us in the video game sector of space. We don't have a choice. The Blasphemy is one of the few last remaining defense ships we have. And besides, the captain is a friend of mine, and I won't leave him behind no matter what. So if anyone wants to chicken out now, we can leave you at the nearest space station. Good. While we wait, you'll all know where I'll be. Yes, sir. Greetings, travelers. I'm your host, the C-Dot that knows a lot, Dr. Waluigi. For those who may not know, I love the 80s. I may not have grown up in that era or with much of their media, but I still try to track down any I can find, especially their horror films, as I find that the horror films of the 80s were the last remaining good films, before the 90s and the 2010s ruined the genre. In fact, one of my favorite horror film franchises is Friday the 13th, a classic in the slasher film genre with many great sequels. But we're sadly not going to be talking about that series. No, instead we're going to be talking about an overrated, unnecessary, and painful trend-setting movie franchise. This is my review of the whole A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. The first movie was released in 1984 under the direction of the late, up-and-coming horror director Wes Craven. The producers and Craven took a lot of inspiration from their own experiences in creating the movie and the villain, including 3 LA news stories about families who died in their sleep due to the Vietnamese War. The film was a critical success, earning $57 million at the box office on a $1.8 million budget. The film is also known as the movie that killed off the Killer in the Woods movies that were popularized because of Friday the 13th. In regards to that claim, I tend to disagree. While I believe that movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street help bring back the slasher movies that take place in the suburbs, I don't think that this movie killed off the summer camp slasher craze, as they were still being made all throughout the late 80s to early 90s. The movie centers around a group of teens who are having the same dream about a man with knives for fingers who is stalking them. They think nothing of it until one of their friends, Tina, is killed in her sleep by the man. After which, the rest of her friends experience having the same dream about the man over and over again. Can they stop this stranger and the nightmares from happening, or will they fall victim to the boogeyman of the boiler room? The original cast of this movie has stood through the test of time. What makes each member of this cast memorable is that each of their dreams is tailored to their personality within the film. With Tina, played by Amanda Weiss, you feel her fear after you see her first nightmare, which helps the audience get to know each of these teens through their experiences with the killer. Only for her to be killed off and have the story continue with our true protagonist, Nancy Thompson, played by Heather Langenkamp. And it cannot be stated enough that one of the scariest elements of the franchise is the killer Freddy Krueger, played by the illustrious Robert Englund. What made Freddy so scary to everyone is that he was the first killer that enjoyed killing kids, which is what Wes Craven wanted to bring to life. Since at the time, the most popular slasher villains were guys in masks or mentally disturbed people. However, with Freddy, you never felt like he was some misunderstood monster. He was a sadistic killer who enjoyed what he did, and it's a shame that he ended up becoming a mockery of his former self. But I'll get to that in later films. It's hard for me just to describe the one thing that makes this a beloved horror classic. Everything from the cast to the writing makes this an almost perfect horror movie. The main reason so many others and I love the film is the setting and the atmosphere that the movie brings. While there are certainly slasher movies that take place in the suburbs, none of them made you feel as unsafe as being attacked in a dream, since when you're in a dream, you're being attacked in a helpless state. This movie just goes to show that no matter where you are, you could be attacked at any moment, even while you sleep. However, there is one thing that does ruin this perfectly good movie that we can thank the producers for. It's well known throughout Wes Craven's career that he hated the idea of doing sequels. The only time he did them was when he had some free time on his hands or when he wanted to do one. In the case of this movie, Craven wanted to end the movie with a happy ending where everything goes back to normal. Unfortunately, the producers of this movie were adamant about making this movie a franchise and changed the ending to make room for the inevitable sequels that we got. While I can understand why New Line wanted to create their own franchise, changing the ending made this film look desperate and lazy, as if to say, "Please, take our money, we're desperate for cash." I still hold up the original Nightmare movie as a classic that everyone should watch at least once in his or her life. With great special effects, a well-rounded cast, and a slasher villain that strikes terror in your dreams, makes this a perfect horror film to weave its way into your hearts. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Now, if only more films took a cue from this, we wouldn't have such garbage coming out every year. I'm looking at you, Paranormal Activity. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Doctor. We have arrived at the designated area. On screen, let's see the ship. Well, that's the weird thing, sir. The ship. It's gone.